Hello, my dear students. Myself, Professor Dr. Sanjay Chavda, Faculty of Land Governance, Jyoti Vidyapeeth Women's University, Jaipur. This session is related to business organization for BBA LLB second semester, Unit 2. This is session number 18. Session name Principles of Cooperative Society and Merits of Cooperative Society. So dear students, in our last session we have discussed about meaning or definition of cooperative society and its features. Now in this session let us discuss about the principles of cooperative society and we'll discuss some of its merits. Now, the fundamental cooperative principles are: number one, it will be good if side by side you will note down the points, and after completion of the lecture or after completing this video, if you will rethink about these points which you have noted down during the course of video making, and then try to elaborate yourself. It will help you to memorize, remember and to understand. So first principle is principle of voluntary and open membership. This principle means that cooperative society is a voluntary organization. It is open to all persons capable of using their services and willing to accept the responsibility of membership without discrimination on the basis of gender, social inequality, racial, political ideology or religious considerations. So it is a voluntary organization. Second principle is principle of democratic member control. This principle holds that cooperatives are democratic organizations controlled by their members who actively participate in setting their policies and decision making. Elected representatives of these cooperatives are responsible and accountable to their members. So this is just like a democracy. So here lies the principle of democratic members control. Third principle is principles of members' economic participation. This principle holds that members contribute to and control the capital of their cooperative democratically. At least a part of the surplus arising out of the economic results would be the common property of the cooperatives. The remaining surplus could be utilized benefiting the members in proportion to their shares in the cooperative. It means some part of the profit they have to keep in the reserve for the benefit of the society. Here, they will not distribute all the profits in proportion to their shares, but after keeping some part of the profit as reserve for the benefits of the society, that they can distribute. Then number 4, principle of principle of autonomy and independence. The principle assumes that cooperatives are autonomous, self-help organizations controlled by the members. If cooperatives enter into an agreement with other organizations, including government, or raise capital from external sources, they do so on terms that ensures their democratic control by members and maintenance of cooperative autonomy. Even if they will take help from any outside, but first they have to make sure that they are democratic control by members and maintenance of cooperative autonomy. Then number 5 principle is principle of education, training and information. This principle assumes that cooperatives provide education and training to their members, elected representatives and employees so that they can contribute effectively to the development of their cooperatives. They also make the general public, particularly young people and leaders, aware of the nature and benefits of cooperation. So they provide education, training and information. The next principle, number 6, principle of cooperation among cooperatives. This principle holds that cooperatives serve their members most effectively and strengthen the cooperative movement by working together through available local, regional, national and international structures. Whatever available resources are, whether it is on the basis of local, regional, national or international, cooperative members have to work together to serve their members most effectively and strengthen the cooperative movement. Then 7th principle is principle of concern for community, very important. The principle states that while focusing on the needs of their members, cooperatives work for the welfare or sustainable development of communities through policies accepted by their members. So this is principle of concern for community. Then besides these 7 principles, some other principles are also there which are very common. Say like number 8, principle of economy and efficiency. That is to run the cooperative society economically and efficiently. That is to take the maximum use of the resources at an optimum point and at the optimum level. Means to work economically and efficiently to achieve their target. Then next, number 9, principle of service. As we discussed in the feature of cooperative society, this is also one of the principles on which cooperative society is based, that is principle of service. The primary objective of the society is to serve its member. Main objective is to provide service, not to earn profit. No doubt they make profit, but a reasonable amount of profit to run the enterprise. Then number 10, the principle of unity and fraternity. That is, society should aim at developing unity and fraternity amongst the members. There must be a spirit of confidence amongst each other. Members must be united to work for their common goal. Then number 11th principle is principle of justice and quality. That is, society should carry on its operations to provide justice and equality to its members against exploitation and injustice. That is, as we discussed earlier, all for each and each for all should be the spirit of cooperative organization. Then number 12th principle is principle of case trading. That is, society should trade on cash basis. As we discussed, it is run by group of people, assuming say weaker section of society, so they work for their own benefit, so they must work on cash trading, they must work on cash basis, not on credit basis. Then 13th principle is principle of state control. That is, working of society should be required and controlled by the government. That is why a society has to be registered. Once it is registered, it is an incorporated body, it is a separate entity, legal person, so it has to be controlled by the government. So there is a principle of state control. So these are the principles of cooperative society. So my dear students, let us discuss some of the advantages of cooperative organizations. Cooperative organizations have distinct advantages, that is merits to their credit, and these advantages are classified under the following three heads. Number one, organizational advantage. Number two, economic advantage. And number three, social advantage. So these advantages of cooperative societies are classified under three heads. I'll repeat. Number one, organizational advantage. Number two, economic advantage. And number three, social advantage. Now let us discuss what are organizational advantages. Organizational advantage number one, easy formation. A cooperative organization can be easily formed. Any 10 persons, major persons, and in Rajasthan, 15 major persons can get in registered with the Registrar of Cooperative Societies Act. So easy to form. Number two advantage of organizational advantage is small amount of invest. Like sole proprietorship, it requires a small amount of investment. A person can become member of a society by taking only one share of it. This may involve investment of rupees 10 to rupees 100 only, so a small amount of investment. Number third advantage, organizational advantage is equal voting rights. Here also decisions are taken on the basis of voting, and voting is one man, one vote, irrespective of the number of votes. One man, one vote. So equal voting right. And the fourth advantage, organizational advantage, is democratic management. All the powers vest in the general meeting of the shareholders. The general meeting makes all the decisions by the rule of majority. Some decisions are taken by simple majority and some by 2/3 majority. So the members in the general meeting elect members of the executive committee or governing body of the society by the simple majority by casting their votes. The executive committee executes all the decisions taken and all the policies formulated by the society. It also takes decisions by rule of majority. The executive committee is accountable to its member of the society, thus it enjoys the benefit of democratic management. And the fifth advantage, organizational advantage, is stability. As it is a legal person registered under Cooperative Society Act, it has its own existence, so like company, it has its perpetual existence. And then sixth organizational advantage of cooperative society is easy to wind up. A cooperative society may be wound up by passing a resolution in the general meeting of its members. So it is easy to wind up. So overall, in the organizational setup, we can say that organizational setup is very easy to form, very simple to wind up. Stability is there, equal voting right is there, small amount of investment is required, and everything is in democratic management control. So these are the organizational advantage of cooperative society. In our next session, that is session number 19, we will continue with two more heads of advantage, that is economic advantage and social advantage. Thank you.